Hello, love. Captain Jack Sparrow again. As I do these problems for you, hopefully you won't notice that Captain Jack Sparrow is wearing a t-shirt today. It's laundry day aboard the Black Pearl, as I said earlier, and it's still not quite finished. I have to go add some fabric softener. So just ignore any noises in the background you hear. Now, the next problem that I want to do for you, love, is a problem involving exponential growth. Exponential growth is how really nasty, little, tiny, horrible things grow, like bugs and spiders and things like that. All those things that pirates have to face on a daily basis. Well, the next problem is about tribbles. And a tribble is like a little creature from Star Trek. And you may not know this, but pirates love to watch Star Trek. So here's a tribble. I brought one for you, but we've got to be careful because eventually they like to multiply. So there's my tribble. Okay, so let's read through this problem. It says you start out with 5 tribbles, and 5 hours later you have 22. How long until you have 10,000? And I just realized I didn't put a question mark there. Well, I don't have to because I'm a pirate, and pirates sometimes have bad punctuation. That's one of the things that makes us so wicked and roguish and evil. Alright, assume the tribbles follow the laws of uninhibited growth, which just means they will never die, and they always have as much food as they need to grow as much as they want to grow. So for this problem, even though it's traditional to use different letters, we're going to use the apert formula. And there are other letters apert, not payert. That makes no sense. There are other letters that people occasionally like to use, but I like to use apert just because it's the same equation that we use for laws involving finance. Alright, so the first thing we do is, I have a starting amount and an amount later on, and I have the time that it takes to get there. Oh, I just noticed one other thing. I wrote $10,000 here. It's 10,000 tribbles, love. Captain Jack's not having a great day today. So anyhow, I start with 5. That's the p-value. And later I have 22 after 5 hours. Okay, so after 5 hours, and that means R I don't know, and T is 5. And what we need to do is find R, which is normally what you have to do in these problems. So to do that, I divide ln, divide. We talked about this many times. Divide, ln, divide. That's ln, not Helen. Helen is another pirate. She's a very nasty pirate. She doesn't like to do math at all. Okay, so those cross out, and I get 22 over 5 equals e to the r times 5. And I just left it 22 over 5 because I'm going to take the natural logarithm of both sides. So I take the ln of this, and ln and e cancel, and I'm left with ln 22/5 equals r times 5, love. Divide ln, divide, and that helps you find the rate. So I divide by 5, almost divided by r there. Imagine the shock if I did that. That would be very rude and also not right. So I do this. I'll put this in my calculator. Pirates always have their calculators handy. So ln, well, first I'll hit the fraction button, ln, and then I'll hit the fraction button again, 22 over 5, love. And I'll close my parentheses. And then down here, I will put in 5. And I hit enter. And I get 0.2963. Okay, so my rate is approximately 0.2563. Captain Jack just realized that he used the same number for R that he used for hours, and that's kind of scary. Sort of confused him a little bit. Now, I didn't write out all these decimals, but I'm going to keep them in my calculator. So now, I want to see how long it takes me to get 10,000. So I end with 10,000 this time. And I started with 5. And I now have my rate, and this time it's time that I don't know. But I'm going to solve this in the same way I did before. I'm going to divide both things by 5, and I get 2,000 here, and e to the 0.2563 blah blah blah. And then I will take the natural logarithm of both sides, causing that to cancel, and I get ln 2000 over 0.2563t, and I will divide by that, but I've kept it in my calculator for accuracy, even though I've chopped off some of the decimals when I wrote it. Because I can't write all the decimals, because they go on forever and ever. Okay, I keep accidentally marking up my page. Alright, so let me get my calculator out again, and this time I'm doing ln 2000, and I don't need the fraction button because there's only one thing I'm dividing by here, and divide, and then I scroll up to the rate, and I hit enter, and then I hit enter again. It pasted it down in there, and it gave me an answer of 25. And 25 what, love? Well, 25 days, and if you want to round it to the nearest day, you'd want to round it to 26, because if you only go 25 days, you won't quite have 10,000. And if you don't have 10,000 tribbles when you promise to, people get rather nasty about that. Pirates are very temperamental about having the things that you say you're going to have when you say you're going to have them.